Forte Podcast, the only podcast that's bringing its guests to you in person. Listen, watch, follow us on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, as well as Facebook at the Forte Community. Come on, y'all. You know you want to meet these people in person. So check us out at www.theforteexperience.com to see when our next networking event is, so you can meet our guests in person to ask your questions live. Let's go.
Also, make sure you go to Amazon.com. Go to Amazon.com and get your copy of my latest book, Wholesale to Wealth. Get your copy today. If you want to learn about wholesaling real estate, listen, I have a lot of information packed into this book for you. I'm giving you what took me years to learn, and I put it in a book. Please go get your copy today. You won't regret it. Welcome to the Forte Podcast. I am your co-host, Dominic Epps.
And I'm your co-host, Randall Monfeston.
And we are here to dive into your lane of greatness to discover what comes easy for you that may not be easy for all others.
Everyone's a genius, from the 9-to-5 employee to the Fortune 500 billionaire. We're here to highlight those attributes through dialogue and interviews with amazing guests.
And we've been keeping it hot and fire ready with these amazing guests. So, brother, I got one question for you.
What's that, bro?
What's your forte?
Let's go. What's your forte?
Woo! The Fortes are in the house. The Fortes are in the house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Forte is listening. Forte is watching. Let's go.
Forte is chewing on their broccoli and rice, doing an intro. We here, man. We here, yo.
Man, they didn't know that. They didn't know that. I was flawless in my introduction of the podcast.
You was flawless, man. So today I just want to show everybody this shirt, by the way. I brought this one out. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to be able to see this. I want to be able to see this because we got a very special guest today. And I had to go to the crib for this one. You know, so for those of you, y'all know where I'm from. But listen, man, I'm so excited today to have the guest that we have, man. And I know we normally talk about what we had going on for the weekend or how was our day, but I'm ready to get right into this thing, right? I'm just ready to dive right into this thing today because I think this is going to be a very dope episode for those of you that want to learn, you know, a different niche, right? A different niche. And we've been having some amazing guests. Bro, can you talk about, just for all of our listeners and those watching, just what are some of the fortes we've had so far on the show?
Man, I think we tap in almost every industry.
Yeah.
We got somebody who does real estate, like multi-apartment complex syndications. We have somebody who has a mobile esthetician business, like luxury mobile, not just a regular RV. Like she pimped this thing out, like pimp my ride.
A mobile spa, like
yeah.
Maryland,
we got a spa owner
in Texas. Yeah, spa owner.
Yeah, we got a male spa owner, right? Get your hairline like lined up and get your facial at the same time. We got somebody
Esquires.
that does.
We had two Esquires.
Yep, we got Esquires. We got federal contracts. We got people. We got a person that's in mobile home flipping renovations. We got what else we got? It's been so many.
Insurance.
Insurance.
Can't forget
we
that.
keep on tapping it. We keep on tapping every industry, and we're gonna keep on expanding. Like today's guest, we're expanding to a different.
I mean, so we done had Cardi B's personal chef on the show.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, come on, man.
I can't wait to sample his food at our. We're gonna sample his food, right?
Come on. Of course. It's about to, of course.
We're gonna sample his food, but where are we gonna sample his food at, bro?
Oh, at the Forte Experience All Black, Atlanta, Georgia, in November.
Let's go.
Sample. We're gonna enjoy. It ain't no samples.
You're right.
No, we ain't doing no sampling.
I'm gonna sample food before.
You're not doing no sampling, brother. We're gonna enjoy this. But listen, so today, y'all, I'm so excited because, you know, I get to go home for a moment. I get to go home. There's no place like home. For those of you that do not know, you should know this by now, but just in case this is your first time watching, you don't know this, I am from the largest city in Virginia land-wise. I got to say land-wise because population-wise, it ain't quite there yet. But land-wise, the largest city in Virginia, which is Suffolk, Virginia. Okay, Suffolk, Virginia is the largest city. But in Suffolk, there's this amazing, great neighborhood called Saratoga. That's where I'm from. All right, we call it the Toga. We call it STG. We have so many different names. The front, the back. It is what it is, right? But today's guest is from where I'm from. All right. Well, he wasn't born there, but he was raised there. How about that? How about that? But he's from my town. He's from my city. Attended the same high school. He's been doing some amazing things, man. So we're going to bring him out the green room because I think it's only right for all of you to get to meet the one and only Latroy. I'm gonna say Brinkley, but he just got married, so I don't know. He got to tell me about this one. I don't know if it changed. So what's up, bro? What's going on? I don't know who took what, so you gonna have to help me out with that one. But Troy, what's up, bro? Glad to have you on the show, my brother.
Glad to be here. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, doing well. Hey, before we get into this, right? Before we dive into this, I just want to break this out. I just want to Dom, you claiming him as this is your boy from the toga, from the front to the back, it's all of that, right? All right. We had a debate about a year and a half, 2 years ago about how to prepare your grits.
There we go.
So, Latroy, for somebody who's in the same land, the biggest city land-wise in Virginia, how do you like your grits?
Sugar. You put sugar in your grits.
You put sugar. We starting off the podcast line. That's what we're doing.
Hey, where you from? I'm gonna tell you something, bro. We stick together no matter what. If you don't know this by now, we stick together. No, did y'all see his facial expression?
That's bad, man. That's bad.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Hey, the next person that we have on the Forte Podcast needs to have what's those a polygraph person. We need to get a polygraph person.
Hold on, bro. If I could replay your facial expression though, bro, Mr. Editor or Mrs. Editor, make sure when y'all edit this video, please replay.
Bro, your face was like
his facial expression. He was like, are we doing this right now? So,
you know what?
Hey man, we stick together, man. We stick together, bro.
That's whatever. You know what somebody type whatever. So okay, somebody type when they do that whatever.
That's what we do, man. Troy, tell everybody about you, man. Tell us where you're from, man. What's your
forte besides lying? What's your forte besides lying, Troy?
So, my name is Latroy Brinkley. I'm a native of Suffolk, Virginia. I was born in a little area of Suffolk called Skeetertown, but my parents moved, and that's how I became a Saratogian, if I can say that. Born and raised, went to Virginia State University, moved back to Suffolk, owner of Serendipity Hair Salon. Been doing that for 21 years now. 4 more years to go, I plan on retiring. Let's see. Celebrity hairstylist, master hairstylist. Have worked on a lot of platforms with a lot of big people. So here I am today. I think the most important thing is, and my kids remind me, I'm a father first. So all that other stuff comes behind it.
Yeah, man. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna definitely get into it.
Real quick, so people can put some respect on your name. I don't know if it's okay. I don't know if you guys like NDA clause. Are you able to name drop some people so people would say, "Yo, this definitely some hot fire you about to." People need to listen in because people going he ain't really doing nothing. But if you come with some names, people going to tune in and really you should have had to do that. But I'm just saying.
So my first gig when I broke into this industry of celebrity hairstyling was. I was on the Hoodie Awards, so I got an opportunity. So I used to work for Steve Harvey Morning Show for the Neighborhood Awards. My first big client was Monique, the comedian Monique. She was my first, and from then I worked more with Steve Harvey Morning Show. Worked with Johnny Wright, who's the hairstylist for the infamous Michelle Obama. Um, I worked for Black Enterprise Magazine. I worked for VH1. I did Basketball Wives Miami, and so forth and so on.
Yeah,
All right. So
the
when
list
y'all
can
listen
goes
to
on and
this
on and on,
man,
man. Just go to his
put some
IG.
respect
Just go to
on
his
this man's name.
just
That's all I
just
want people to say. I
yeah,
want
yeah,
people to hear and take heed because this man is coming with a resume. That's all I
yeah.
want people to know.
He got his yeah, his resume is pretty extensive, right? But here's the good thing about it, man, the humility behind it, right? And this is what I've noticed even when we had other guests on the show, is that they're very humble. They don't just go out there and say, "Hey, man, I work with so and so," right? Or
Yeah,
I should get like Troy. You would, if unless he tells you this is who he have worked with, if you go into his salon, you don't see. At least I didn't. I didn't see no photos of all these different celebrities, and like you're gonna just feel like he's just, he's one of you, right?
Like you're the celebrity. He's treating you like the celebrity, right?
Right.
I think when I first opened the salon, I had a whole wall full of those pictures with myself and those celebrities. But probably after a year, I took it all down and started posting my day to day clients. So yeah,
That's dope, man. So let's get into your upbringing, right? So you was born in Skeetertown. Skeetertown, for those of you that's not familiar, is certainly a country part of Suffolk, right? We were called country forever. Now it's been changing, of course, but it's more family oriented. When you think of Skeetertown, you think of just this one big family, right? Or maybe a couple families, but it's one big family. You think of, for me, I'm thinking of Mount Arat Church, right?
yeah,
Right. So, but then you come to Saratoga. So
yeah.
talk to us about your upbringing. For those who may not be familiar, how life was growing up in Saratoga and in your family, because you have a large family. Y'all not just a couple of y'all. Like y'all pretty deep, right? You're pretty deep, and y'all known for throwing hands. So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell everybody about your about your upbringing.
Wow.
Man.
So my 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 grandmother moved to what we call the front of Saratoga. So it was beside the gas station. Well, actually, we moved there before the gas station was put there. So we went through the whole gentrification of expanding the street that we were on, new houses, all of that good stuff. Um, Moving to Saratoga was different because Skeetertown was a lot of well to do people, but I moved to an area where everybody wasn't as fortunate, and it made me enjoy the things that we have. If I everybody in Skeetertown, most of the people had very big yards. If back then, if you had a brick house or a satellite dish, you had that big satellite dish, you had made it. But coming to Saratoga, I met people who weren't as fortunate, and it was like, wow, this is life. So I befriended a lot of those people, and I would say 10 out of 10, most of them are still my friends to this day. Saratoga is a family. Um, we knew everything that was going on in the neighborhood. We knew everyone. Anybody could beat you. By the time you left one part of the neighborhood and got home, grandma and mom knew what you had done. But it's still a close knit community, even with the growth that we're experiencing in the city. Now I sound like a city commissioner. Even with the growth,
Yeah,
even with the growth, it's still a close knit community.
yeah.
I
So
am Latroy and I approve this message. That's what he sounded
oh,
like.
we're gonna get
Right.
to that. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. So Randall grew up in New Jersey, and
Okay.
I had the opportunity to visit, his hometown where he's from, and even his family in Brooklyn, and it was very tough area, right? And for us, we grew up in a neighborhood that was considered the worst, not just in Suffolk, but like in the 757, right? Like it was bad growing up. Did you know that it was as bad while living in Saratoga?
No, not at all. It was, I don't even think it was bad. Like we had our moments with little fights and stuff, and an occasional stab every now and then. But the way things are today, I look at it now, I'm like, wow, it's crazy out here. But we could be outside all night long and we were cool. I never considered Saratoga as bad. People from the outside looking in was like, wow, it's bad over there. Just like we used to look at Jericho as bad. But I don't think Saratoga was bad. We just ain't put up with no foolishness. That's the way it was.
Right, right. Which is interesting because people from the outside, I just remember days, man. Our bus was always late. Um, we
So
always
we had
had
several buses. I
summer
think
bus
you were on one.
drivers. Yep,
I was on bus 47. You were on 103.
yep. We had so many different buses, man. Different bus
Yeah.
drivers. The windows didn't go up, but I remember when our bus would be late going to school, and we come in school, man, and it was like the parting of the Red Sea. People would move out the way when we were walking. I was like, and that was my first time in high school. I was a freshman. I was like, yo, like this neighborhood
Yeah.
get that much respect, right? But that's that, right? Randall, what you got for him? What you got besides the sugar belongs in your grits? But go ahead. What you? What you
I'm, the editor's not going to see that. I'm just going to let the editor's going to cut that out. Just no, we're not going to make that to the final edit. But yeah. So Latroy, so we talked about your upbringing. We talked about Saratoga. We talked about how thick of thieves y'all are with covering each other's back, no matter what you're gonna. Man, I can't believe that happened. But anyway, so after you went through school and all of that, like, how did you transition? Like, did you? At what point did you realize that you wanted to be in the hairstyling industry?
So I kind of knew, going back to Saratoga, my next door neighbor, her name was Shalonda. Unfortunately, she's no longer with us. She passed away a few years ago. She went to cosmetology school and she did hair. I was always fascinated by it, but my dad was like, you ain't doing no hair. So it was basically you going to college. So once I got in college, I started doing a little bit of hair here and there. I graduated. I actually worked in Rutherford, New Jersey for 5 months. I was working for Nextel. Then they moved me back to 757. Um, and I would do hair on the side. And I was like, man, I love what I'm doing. I'm not happy on this 9 to 5 or whatever time the job was. So I would spend all of my free time doing hair. And most of the time it was free, trying to get my name out there. And Nextel laid me off, or did I get fired? I got fired from Nextel. And I went and worked at Verizon. And one day I went to work, and my job with Verizon was butter. They was flying me all around the country. I was one of the first people to be bought out during the FiOS period. So when everybody talk about FiOS now, I was one of the grandfathers of FiOS. I used to go around and train people, teach them how to use it. And I just got tired of doing it. And I quit my job. That had to be in 2003. That was in '03. I just quit my job. And I said, well, here it is, do or die. And the best decision I ever made.
I want something
wow.
that you kind of said kind of fast. I want to make sure we pause to like rest in that real quick because you're not the first person that said that. You said that you started doing things for free when it came to hairstyling, and you're like, I think people always think they got to get money day one or whatever journey that they're going in, or else they're not going to do it. And sometimes doing it for free is the best way to get that proof of concept, is to get that resume and get that word of mouth, because those people then go tell somebody else and then the money comes. So, yo, kudos to you for doing that. And I just want to make sure that the audience heard that
Yeah,
that
yeah.
piece.
So
No doubt.
here's something interesting too that I don't want to run past this. You also mentioned that your dad wasn't in agreement, right? So you had a desire to do something that was totally against what your father approved of, but you decided to do it anyway. Give us your mental state during that time period of, like, were you trying to make sure he didn't find out, or did you just get to a point to where you was like, you know what, it is what it is. This is what I enjoy, and I'm going to pursue this, whether he like it or not.
It was a mixture of both. Some days I cared, some days I didn't. Um, but my mindset was, I got the degree. I did what you wanted me to do. Here it is. Um, I I played around with it. Like, I would do my aunt's hair. I'd be like, "Don't tell my dad I did your hair," because of what he thought about it. And that thought was, "Ain't no son of mine gonna do hair. That's sissy stuff," or whatever those adjectives he wanted to describe it as. But I had so much respect for my father that I did not step out and do what I wanted to do out of, I don't know if it was fear or respect, or a mixture of both. So I just was like, let me do this over here, but not. But when I decided to quit my job, in my mind, I said I have to do what's best for me, and that was over a course of probably 3 to 4 years, where I was back and forth about what I wanted to do.
So
Gotcha.
you're saying 3 to 4 years from the time that he told you that you're not going to go be a hairstylist. So before you went to school, so you went through the process of being in school, and then at the tail end of that, you did some odd end jobs, and then decided, all right, boom, I'm going all in on this because this is what I want to do.
Yeah,
Okay, got you.
That's pretty cool,
yeah,
man. So your family members, your cousins, and everybody knew, right? But
yeah.
it was just like, all right, don't don't tell him. Let's not tell him. Is it safe to say to him, he was looking at it as, I don't want my son to be no punk, no sissy, no whatever terms or words that he used, right? That's what he.
I mean, I was,
And I know your pops was very vocal when he said this. So I'm you for those of you that don't know this, Troy is my cousin Peter. So I don't use profanity, but when we in certain places, certain meetings, he'll say, I can say that, you can't say it, and he'll say it, but you get what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, everything that he was telling me that I didn't need to be, um, I was already experiencing. And I came to the realization, what I did in my private life did not dictate who I was on a day-to-day basis.
Hold on, brother.
And
Say it again.
once
Hold on. You said it too fast. Say that again. Say it. We're
what
gonna
I
cut
do in
and
my
chop that.
private
That's
life,
good.
what I do in my private life doesn't dictate who I am in my day-to-day walk. It does not. And I had to get to that point. Um, we had a season where we did not speak. Um, there was a lot. It was turmoil in the family, and but we rolled through it, and it took a long time. It took conversations with other family members, but we good now. We
That's what's up,
good.
man. Congrats that y'all were able to come back and then be able to keep that bond. What I hear from this is that not only this scenario, but a lot of times your circle, if the people don't believe in the vision, right, they project their
Mhm.
fears. In your case, I think your dad was projecting his fears of how he would be perceived that his son is being a hairstylist. And how I relate that fear of projection from the person that you're seeking counsel from, or in this case, he wasn't seeking counsel, but he was kind of giving his counsel for other people out there who trying to start whatever journey. There's always going to be opposition. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't believe in your vision, and you still got to push through because if you lean into what they're saying vice what you want to. I'm not saying anything illegal. I'm saying legal stuff, right? But
Yeah.
if you don't lean into if you lean into what they're projecting, then you will never be able to succeed. So just be mindful of who's in your circle and who's in your ear, because those people could feed your subconscious and further delay your growth.
Yeah. So
100%.
yeah. So I want to move forward now, Troy. To I remember when you was going to the White House, right? And so
Yeah.
here's my question: how nervous were you to make sure the first lady of the United States that you did not mess that lady hair up? Like,
Johnny Johnny was the lead, and I'm trying to think of how much I can say. Johnny was the lead. The first night I met her, he had taken us out. We met at a restaurant called Oyamel, that's in DC, and the motorcade pulled up, and I was just hanging out with him. I did not know that I would be meeting her that night. Well, Oyamel, I think it's like a raw bar, like sushi, and I'm not a sushi eater. I eat a little California or a volcano roll, and that's it. But this time, it was like smoked eel, and I almost lost it. But you can't tell them like, no, I'm not gonna eat that. So after it was all over, Johnny was like, you didn't have to eat that. But she's, when I say one of the most pleasant people you ever want to meet, um, her personality is undescribable. Um, Pleasant, firm, direct. You never have to guess. You never have to wonder. Um, and really cares about those people who are in her circle.
yeah, that's awesome, man. So let's
Yeah.
talk about owning a salon, right? Because I'm sure we all know someone that's doing hair at home. Like, my daughter, age 13, she loves it. Right. She has the mannequins. She's doing hair. I hate seeing strings of hair all over the place, right? But we realize that this is a gift and this is something that she really enjoys doing, right? So for you at a young age to know that this was something that you wanted to do by looking at Shalonda, right?
Yeah.
What do you say for someone that wants to take the next step and open up a salon? Because it's one thing to work under someone, which I'm sure you've done, right? But what
Mhm.
made you say, okay, it's time for me to branch out and, go open up my own? Like,
I
what made
got
you do
I got tired of working for niggas.
that?
There you go, Dom. You said he could say what you can't say.
Let's
There you
go.
go,
We
man.
here. We here now. Let's go.
Yeah.
um,
You
I
must not
don't know.
got the memo.
My
This is a
daughter.
PG-13 episode. This is a PG-13 podcast.
Yes, my daughter is a braider. She's been doing it for the last 3 or 4 years, but now she's taking it serious, and she has about 4 or 5 clients a week. Um, and I will not let her work in a salon yet because I don't think she's mature enough for that atmosphere. I won't let her go in and be tainted by the stuff that we do in the salons and barbershop. But when it comes to opening your own, um, I stepped out because after being on the Steve Harvey show and being on the radio and TV interviews, my my clientele got huge. And I was working in a barbershop slash salon at that time. And the ladies didn't want the guys seeing them getting their wigs done. That's when you, it's been almost 20 years.
Wow.
So that's when wearing wigs and weave was still taboo. Now, today, females take their wigs off in public and it's all good. Um, I would say stepping out to start your own, make sure that you're business minded. I've talked to a lot of people and I've taught classes, and they think owning a salon is easy because you have booth rent and those things. But one of the things they don't think about is client retention, buying products, selling product, keeping a full staff, keeping the salon clean. Make sure the overhead of the salon, and you got insurances that you have to pay, you have taxes that you have to pay. So all of these things as an owner, you have to look out for. Even when those people don't come to work, you still have to pay that overhead. So you have to make sure you can handle all of that. And sometimes it's a lot. Just like in any entrepreneur, Dominic, sometimes you sell a house, sometimes you don't. Sometimes we get a full house and it's crazy, but there's weeks when you don't. You know, I remember at one time I used to just blow money because I was like, I'll make this up on Friday. Well, Friday coming, we had a hurricane and everything was shut down for 7 days. So now I'm looking dumb because I got rent at home, I got car payment, I got my daughter's daycare, I got the overhead at the salon and all this other stuff. And I didn't save because I thought I was going to make it tomorrow.
You mentioned
So,
something about the booth rent, right? People think that, oh, you could get it from the booth rent, but all people coming in to rent the booth are not people I'm assuming you want in, because they're associated with your brand because it's your business. So I'm pretty sure you're being a little bit selective in who you have rent out booths. So are you able to talk through the process of what are the things you're looking for, or a person who's trying to start their business, not to just take anybody's money who's trying to be in their booth? Like, what are the things that you should be considering when allowing people to be inside your salon?
That's good.
so that's called kind of uncharted territory for me because the Lord God Himself, once He got off the cross, He went and found Cheryl and Tanya and brought them directly to me. And
Hmm.
I haven't had the nightmares that other people have had. That's no lie. They've been with me upward of 16 years. And
Wow,
It's been
Lord
16 years?
knows, bro,
man.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I am thankful for those two ladies. And Kendra, who used to work with us,
Yep.
she passed away.
Yep. Yep.
I am thankful for them. But I oftentimes hear horror stories of other people. You can't be so money hungry that you'll put anybody in your personal space because those people who work with you, they have to be a direct reflection of you. Now, if you're hood and that's what you attract, some of those people may not want to work with you because they may have that corporate America lady who wants to come in and wants to just relax and kick her heels off a long day. Um, we cater to everybody, but more of the I'll say to give you a perspective, we keep the old school R&B flow. Um, that way everybody can relax and if you come in and you're a little bit rowdy, you'll simmer down because that's not the environment that you're in.
Mm,
So be careful of the environment that you set.
Oh, that's
Like
good.
got
we have our
you.
days when Biggie is playing, but
Yeah.
it's probably at the end of a Friday night and it's only two clients left and I need a pick me upper. But the
Wow.
rest of the time is low and easy. The ladies that work with me, they're low and easy. You can't be so busy that you're chasing the dollar that you'll hire anybody because you'll dig yourself in a hole.
Got you.
So,
Got you.
I have two questions. I want you to give us one. Give us something that you failed at in business, and what did you learn from that failure?
Hmm. Probably not. I would say not setting boundaries with my clients. Um, I make everyone feel like they're my best friend, um, and that's a failure because when you have to tell them no or I can't, it becomes a problem. Um, I don't mind confrontation, but I don't like it, especially in my work environment. And sometimes you have to set those clients straight. And there's no gray area with me. It's either black or white. And my black is a little bit darker than my white. So when it comes out, having to set those boundaries or check someone, it comes off as harsh. And then I have to go back and say, well, I didn't mean it like that. That's how it came out. But listen, you can't come in here 30 minutes late and think that I'm going to service you because that's throwing my day off, it's throwing my next client off. But I'm in such a relationship with them that they think is okay.
Mm.
So I started off like that, but that's not the way it ended.
So here's interesting because there are some new people watching this. They're saying they're
Mhm.
clapping, and it was like, "Oh, that's nice." Then there's some people that know you, and so when you said you don't like confrontation, they're like, "Hold on, hold on, Troy,
I don't. I like to
hold on,
start it.
hold on," because I done been in some meetings. I done been in some meetings, and Randall, let me bring you to light on some of the meetings. I'm talking about sitting in front of mayors and vice mayor. I'm talking about some meetings, and when Troy gets to talking, he don't care what your title is, who you are. And I don't heard him talk to a whole bunch of different people. That's where the cousin Peter thing came from, right? So when he says he don't like confrontation, I'm assuming he don't like people to start it because he's gonna finish it. So I want to get to something else because people don't know this about you, but you seriously you are a giver, right? But you are a community activist, and I know you don't go around with the title, right? But there's a lot of things that you have done, and we have done together. We've probably participated in every protest, um, social activism that have taken place in the city of Suffolk. Whenever there was something going on, social unrest, it was your phone and my phone that was blowing up, and people expected us to be in the forefront, in whatever the cause may be, right? Uh, but it also led to you running for mayor, and I want you to talk about that experience because that race was a very tight race, but it also showed the the ugly side of politics, right? The ugly
So,
side of politics. So talk about that experience. How was that experience when you actually ran for mayor that year?
well, it was city councilman.
City council, city council.
It was ugly. I'll tell anybody if you plan on running for a public position, be ready for your name to be dragged through the mud, whether it's true or not. Um, I was running against a guy who was way older than me, and we had a few disputes. He he brought my character into play. Now, you can talk about anything that I do, but my character, I stand on who I am. That's it. Um, he talked about my sexuality. He talked about my family, and he was a part of my family, which was crazy to hear that. Um, I had to defend myself and my people, what we call across the tracks, because still in 2020, I think that's no, was it 2018?
2018. 2018. Yep.
2018,
Mhm.
we are still viewed as less than. And I would have to check people often because of that. So there were a lot of sleepless nights. There were days, looking over your back, just making sure I got messages that I still have saved. One in particular, if you want my vote, be careful what you say, because that was the same year that Donald Trump was running. And I was very vocal about his candidacy. Um, and they didn't like that. They didn't like it. Would I do it again? Yeah, I don't care. That stuff doesn't break me. I went through that as a child. Um, but what I will not tolerate is disrespect to my face. You can say what you want to say behind my back. 9 times out of 10, if I ask you about it, you're probably going to say, well, such and such said it, or that's not how it went.
Yeah.
But it was a long 6 7 months. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was a very close race,
Yeah,
very
it
close.
was. It was. And I remember the process. I remember everything that was going on. But one of the things that I want to give you kudos for that most people may not know is when it comes to election periods, right? You have, let's say you have three people on the ballot. Okay. Only one person is going to get chosen, right? The other two people, normally, if they're not chosen, you don't hear from them, you don't see them unless they decide to run 4 years later, right? A lot of the things, a lot of the changes that you all see, for those of you that still stays in Suffolk from Suffolk, you may not realize this, but Troy continued to fight and to advocate and to serve on different boards and commissions, even though he wasn't elected, to make sure that he held those individuals accountable that was in office. And that would never be publicized. It would never be on paper, on the newspaper, front news, whatever, right? But I know that, and there are people that know your service that knows that. So I just want to give you kudos, man. I just want to make sure everybody understands
Well,
that.
well, I'll add this in, and I did not accept any. I did not accept any dirty money.
See, I'm gonna stop before we get messy. I'm gonna stop before we get messy. Randall, ask your next question. Ask your next question. Come on, let me solo you. Ask your next
Randall won't know
question.
about the dirty money.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out like why don't we talk about that? But I guess there's some stuff that doesn't need to be said. So yeah, so let's talk about family, right? How do you balance that, right? Well, actually, no. Before we get to family, you mentioned your daughter, and you mentioned that
Yes.
you wasn't mature enough, or you don't feel like she's mature enough to enter into the salon yet. And you didn't want. I think you mentioned you didn't want the way the salon is built or structured to taint how she grows. Is it certain things that you feel like this? I guess what did you mean by that? Before I assume, what did you mean by that statement? I'm trying to. I think I have a thought, but I wanted to make sure that I'm understanding what you mean by she would be tainted by how the salon the operates.
I want her to grow into womanhood and not be thrown into it.
Okay.
Yeah, if that makes sense, I
Yeah, yeah,
guess.
yeah. That's where I was. So, like, advancing her past her age, right? Because she's going to be around other
Yeah,
people who are older, right? Got that. So that's what I was tracking. So when I'm
yeah,
thinking of people who are or back to the booth rent, right? Somebody comes in and said, "Man, Latroy is doing it big. I want to get in there," right? So you're from one hat thinking as an owner, do they fit into my space? But it's not only that do they fit in my space from my branding, but are they ready to be in a space where certain conversations and certain dialogue is being
Mm.
created that is advancing in mind before they can even keep up with it, right? Like being like be seeing and hearing things. And I want people to take that consideration, especially who are trying to be salonists. Sometimes it might not be what LaTroy is saying that you don't fit my brand. It's just you may not be ready to be in this
mm,
space. I don't think that the no is a no because you're not qualified from a hairstylist perspective. It might be that this is just not the environment for you yet.
Or
So
your
that's what I
or your character is not ready.
yeah, 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 yeah. But we spoke to that part. But I
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that people don't automatically assume that it could be part of the character, but then it could also be they're trying to save you from something that you're not ready to be in yet, right? That's what it's two sides to the coin when it comes to that potential rejection from not
yeah.
being allowed in such a space. That's what I was getting at, and I
Most,
just want to make sure I didn't assume that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's it can be. There's a lot of things that go on in a salon as far as conversation and dealing with different personalities, and we actually call ourselves therapists. Before doctors know what's going on with their patients, we know what's going on with our clients. There's several times I've told clients, "Hey, I need you to go and get this checked out because I felt this right here, or I see that right there," and prognosis come back that, and this was recently. One of my clients has stage 4 cancer. She would have never known if I wouldn't have felt this lump on the side of her neck.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
so dealing with that and being in with more seasoned women, we know how to deal with that client as she's learning what's going on with her. Um, you have to be mentally prepared for a lot of those things. We've had people pass out in the salon, and we were ready. We knew exactly what to do. Um, just a line of things. You have people come in who are going through divorce that need conversation. People who are borderline suicidal. Those conversations have to be had. So we do that, and we carry the weight, and we dismiss it when we leave out of there.
Oh, that's good.
Um,
Yeah.
so not some, you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
You have to be
The weight
prepared
on
for
your
that. So
shoulders.
it's
Yeah.
more than doing hair. It's
Mm.
a lot.
Yeah. I want somebody to hear that is more than just doing hair, right?
It is. It's a
And
lot.
I understand that when it comes to real estate, right? It's more than just selling somebody a house, right? Like it's
Yeah.
way more. You become a part of the family. And so you understand that, you're not just talking about this property, you may talk about something else, right? That's totally contrary or not even about the house, right?
It's
I want to
to do
switch. Go ahead.
I used to do Queen's hair, and you know how many times I've talked her off the roof from not killing you?
Yes, to be, boy, Kev. Y'all gonna make me
My
bring
God.
her on camera just for that. But listen, let me share this story right quick. So, um, I don't know what year. Maybe you remember the year, man. But there was a tornado, you all, that took place in Houston. It was Houston. It was Haiti, right? It was a tornado, and I don't even know how this idea came about, but we
Had
we were
2016.
2016. So here's his salon. Now, Randall, his salon is right across the street from the cafe, right around the corner, right? And so we go on social media. We telling everybody, hey, donate water, cases of water. Bring your cases of water. And I don't know why we thought we was gonna do this. We were gonna drive. We was gonna get a U-Haul truck and drive those cases of water to Texas, right? So his whole salon. Now he has a storefront, right? You can't even see nothing but water.
Yeah.
It was cases of water. It was donations coming, man.
Hundreds.
Man,
Hundreds.
it was crazy, man. And luckily, I don't know who, some organization was going to Texas.
Yep.
And instead of us going to drive a U-Haul truck and deliver it ourselves, they came and they took it for us. But it
They
was,
did.
man, it was great, right? It was amazing, but it was a
It was
relief because
crazy.
yeah, it was crazy. I don't know what we were thinking. We weren't thinking. But I want to talk about reality TV show because
Oh
we
boy.
we 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 saw you on reality TV show with SWV and Escape. How was that experience, man? Because um, you've been on a few reality TV shows. we
Yeah.
we we both been on one that never got released. Uh,
Yeah.
so how was that experience for you to be? Because I remember how it was when we were filming, right? So how was it for you, man, to not just go through the filming process, but to actually see that this one actually came out and got released? How was that?
I'm still reaping the benefits of that show, which is good. Um, my husband now, Larry, I don't know how. My daughter hates it because every time we go somewhere, somebody's stopping and talking. But he deals with it, and it's just like he's in the limelight now. But going through that process was good. I'll speak from the last TV show, working with SWV and Escape. Forever grateful to Coco and Dan Nelson, who approved me to be on the show. Big ups to y'all for that. But it was fun, but it was also um, protection mode because Coco is like a sister to me. So always protecting her image and her brand. And we had some moments with the other group, um, and just being there to make sure she was okay. But it was a good production. This was one of the better shows. It was good. So we filmed here. We filmed in Atlanta. We filmed in California. So it was all right.
That's good, man. That's good, man. I just had a flashback when we were in Vegas on ATVs, man, and
Oh man.
I just had a flashback to to that, to that moment. But I'll save it. I won't share it. But when I saw the show and I saw you on the show, I thought that was amazing. man, to see you, to see Tamaya, to see Coco, it brought back some memories, man. It was great. It was fully to see like, man, this one happened. Like this one actually happened, right? So that
They
was
didn't cut me out of the scenes. I was
right,
like,
right,
dang.
right,
I was in
right.
the preview and everything. I was like, okay,
So
wow.
so let's talk about your clients, right? Because
Yeah.
here it is, you a celebrity stylist, you hairstylist, you travel a lot. I mean, travel a lot, but you're also the first person in the salon. So your work ethic is on a whole nother level. Like let's talk about the things that people don't see or they may not be privy to when it comes to your preparation and when it comes to your work ethic that allows you to do what you're doing. Because most people may think, oh, Troy just, he just because he know this person or because he cool with this person that they, you know, allowed him to do what he's doing. But people don't know, man. You work pretty hard. So let's talk about work ethic for a moment. And some of the things that you do that people may not be aware of that actually allows you to get into some of the rooms that you're in.
I'll tell you, I'll start with this. I've been in therapy for like a year now. I've been to therapy before and it helped me a little bit, but I wasn't completely honest with my therapist back then. But now, learning why I do the things that I do, um, I've always had to over project myself because of my lifestyle to prove a point. Um, I, I work hard to have these nice things and to be a provider to overshadow what everybody thinks of me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely.
that was one of the reasons why. But now my why is different. So my daughter has a brother and a sister, and I came into their life. I think they were 5 and 6, and I'm their dad too. They're in college. They're both at Virginia State University. So whenever they need, I'm their provider, along with my daughter, along with my father, and anybody else who needs. Um, I I can't take a break. I have to work and make sure that um, I came back in from Cancun Monday night, Tuesday morning, 8 o'clock. I was back at work like nothing had happened. And that happens often when I come from my trips. I have people that depend on me. So me not working or not hustling hard is not in my character. I have to. That's what I know. I've been working since I was 15 and 8 months. I think that's when I got my work permit. So I've been working that long for the stop program
I was
during the
I was
summer.
about to
Maybe
ask,
I
did you work for Stop?
yeah, maybe I was 14 or one of those, but
Yeah.
I've been working and I'm 47 now. So literally I've been working well over half of my life. Um, I've been in a place before where I didn't have, and I never want to be in that place again.
Mm,
So
that's
I'll
good.
I'll do what I got to do.
That's good.
Do you feel like you're working like because this is something that
No,
you like you have a passion? So I want our listeners, our viewers to take heed to that, right? Like sometimes you work in a field that's not what your calling is. And because of that, it feels like work. Find the thing that you're good at that other people aren't good at, as well as what you do for hours feels like minutes, right?
Mm.
And that's what Latroy is sharing
yeah,
with. He's able to go from doing a gig in Cancun to flying in. I don't know if it was a gig or it was vacation, but
It was a
whatever
wedding.
have
It was a
you.
wedding. It was a wedding.
Was
His wedding.
it was your wedding? Oh, you just
yeah.
got me. I thought it was like a while ago. Like, oh,
No,
congratulations, man.
You ain't heard me
Congrats.
say. I
thanks.
don't know if the last name changed. Like we'll get about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess I assumed like maybe a month or a couple months. I didn't know it was like right, like okay, got
Well,
it. It's
Last
fresh.
last week,
depending on when this airs, just know it was recent. How about that?
Got
Let's
you.
just
You
say
don't
that.
even
yeah.
got the tan yet. You don't got the tan ring finger yet. Like
No,
that's
not yet. Not yet.
got you, man. Well, congrats to that. Congrats to that. But yeah, like find what your niche is that you feel like it's you could do for hours, and it doesn't like weigh you down. It doesn't drain you, and that's what you're gonna thrive at. Like find that, and then the money will come because you're gonna be able to outwork everybody else, and
Yeah.
then
But
everybody
I
else is
think
gonna want to come to you if you're providing
Dominique
service. That is.
can add to that. I do a lot of giveaways, man. It's like I get up and I do it without thought, and it's fun. I love what I do. A good environment. Um, I have moments when I'm tired, when I'm like, ugh, but it's never, I hate this, I'm gonna quit. Now I do plan on retiring within the next 3 to 4 years because all of the standing and all it wears on your body. I don't want to be in my 60s with major, I already have small back problems, but with major back problems, not able to enjoy myself. So I'm gearing up for that. But it's nothing for somebody to call and say, hey, we're doing a back to school giveaway. We need 5 hair. All right, cool. It's no problem. So I often hear people say, when you can do what you do and not get paid for it, that's when you know you're doing the right thing. And I've been doing that ever since I started.
Yeah. And here's the one thing, man, that most people may not be privy to, right? When it comes to quote unquote celebrities, they are real people with real issues, real problems, right? And sometimes people get so caught up in their celebrity status that they forget when the cameras are gone, when they're off the stage, they are real people, right? And so one of the things I've noticed from you is you've actually been good at maintaining relationships, right? And
Yeah.
keeping those relationships solid regardless of, like me and Troy can probably go months not seeing or speaking, but when we do, you wouldn't know. It would feel like it was just yesterday, right? And so the fact that you are able to, do a celebrity's hair with the
Mhm.
same degree and passion that you would do someone that's from Suffolk is amazing, right? And I think that's probably one of the reasons why people, support you the way that they do is because you're not stuck up, you're not uppity. It's not like they're coming in and, oh, Troy's acting like he's bigger than everybody because, he travels with SWV or because you know what I mean? So, but mentally, how were you able to compartmentalize that? How are you able to be the star in this room and then come down and just like act as if you didn't just wasn't around all those celebrities? Like, okay, like you just wasn't at the Essence Festival. How you go from the Essence Festival to back to Suffolk and your head is not big? Because a lot of people can't
Um,
do that.
is a couple of things. I realize that all of this could stop at any moment, and it'll be a thing of the past. Um, that's one thing. Number two, and I this happened to me recently. I was reading my devotional, and I've had some people to come in and out my life. Now, when I say in and out, I'm not saying that they're out of my life, that they were once in the forefront, like right here beside me, but now they're a little bit further over to the right or to the left. And it's not because any discrepancies or bad situations. Um, God told me, because I was praying about it, I need to know why these seasons happen. He placed people in my life. He's given me the shoulders for people to stand on to get themselves back together. Um, and he told me, I let you get close enough that when that season is over, you're not depressed about the relationship not being as close as you were.
That's
And
good.
I was like, huh? He was like,
Hmm.
yeah. And he showed me throughout the years, I mean, 25 years back, how those people were placed in my life during a good time, but they went through a rough patch. And I had to be there to get them through it. And after that rough patch, they went on, but it's never goodbye. It's just see you later. And there's still a closeness there. We don't talk every day, and sometimes we used to talk 3 or 4 times a day. It's not a bad thing. It's just that I was put in their life for that purpose and that reason. And I was like,
That's
got
good.
it.
That's good. That's good. That's
And
good.
I needed to know that because I was in a place where, God, we used to hang out all the time, like talk 3 or 4 times a day. He was like, well, your purpose for that is done.
Yeah.
So when you talk only once a week now, it's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I had to be okay with that. I was like, okay, gotcha.
That's good. That's good.
So the name of your salon is called Serendipity. What's the meaning behind it? What drove you to call the salon that?
Well, actually, it was a night of drinking with me and 2 of my friends. I was like, y'all, I need a salon name. And we came up with everything from my mama first name to a last name. And one of my friends said, what about serendipity? So I started looking up, and serendipity means a pleasant surprise, like a hidden gem. I was
Got
like,
it.
yo, that's dope. So it's serendipitous, serendipity.
Got it.
And
Got it.
that's
Okay.
that's the vibe you have when you come in.
Got it. Got it. So your attendance on the Forte podcast was serendipitous.
It was serendipitous.
Man, there you go. All right, man.
No doubt.
Hey, it took every bit of me trying to make sure I said that word properly. My enunciation, it was like
Yeah.
serendipitous.
Yeah. I still mess it up. So that's why I'm quiet over here. I still mess it up. But no, that was good, man. That was good, man. Just appreciate you, man. Yeah,
No
take your
doubt.
time, man. All right, we out of here.
All
All
right.
right.
What's
Y'all
your
be good.
forte?
What's your forte? We out. Peace.
All right.